in the arena that have joined the chat and tuning in across the state. We're going to have our third quarterfinalist teams come up for their post-game press conference, starting out with the winner of tonight's game between Ashland and Boyle County. Ashland Blazer Tomcats, their head coach Jason Mays, and also players Zander Carter and Ethan Sellers. Coach, let's go ahead and open up with a statement about obviously things went very well. So just talk about how that happened.
It's 2 games in a row where we executed our game plan to a T, mainly from a defensive standpoint. We came into this game respecting Boyle County as competitors. They've got some tough kids that have won state championships in other sports. I thought they may not have been the most talented team in the 12th, but they were by far the toughest team to come out of the 12th. And, I knew that we had to get stops and set some pace with our play in order for it to be an up-tempo game. And that's exactly what happened. I think our pressure sort of took them out of their offense, and they just never really got into a flow. Secondly, we did a good job on Imfeld. Number 2, we never let him get going. There's a lot of kids that deserve a lot of credit for this win. But these 2 kids, man, they stepped up. Anybody wonder, this guy right here, his name's Big Game Sellers right here. But Xander's just a freshman, guys, and it was good to see him get some offensive rhythm going, and he's going to be a really good player for us going forward. But it was all about our stops, and then we were able to hit shots in transition because we had pace.
All right, this will be for Big Game Sellers.
All right.
Ethan, how important was it for you to start fast after the frustration last night?
I just knew defensively how to get things going. I knew that if I was stepping up on defense and creating a lot of pressure that my offense was going to create for itself. So I just knew coming into this game that I had to be a good defender and not really keep my hands on balls, getting fouls and stuff like that. So.
And Coach James Collier's following up on that. Sellers had the tough go last night due to foul trouble. Talk about his drive to bounce back tonight and the hot start he got off to.
We put him on the Turner kid for Knox Central yesterday, and logic would tell you to put him on Imfeld today. But something in, our staff and I were talked, and I don't know if it was Coach Leemaster or Coach Bonner, but just collectively our gut was like, you know what, if he gets an early foul, we don't want him, having like 2 games in a row where he's in foul trouble. So we just listened to our gut as coach, and we started calling on him and rather than Selly. And that sort of kept Selly out of foul trouble because I didn't want him to go down that road 2 games in a row. So I think that enabled him to, get going because he didn't have as much defensive pressure on him. And then the back end of their 1-2-2, in transition, obviously he catches it in transition outside the arc. He's what my high school coach used to say, death eating crackers. So, he got a lot of those shots up today.
All right. It's from Larry Vaught. Coach, could you talk about the play of Porter and all the things he does for you at point guard on both ends?
Yeah. Larry, he's a special kid, man. He's just a sophomore. He has the it factor, capital I, capital T. You look at him one game and he's a facilitator, and he's averaging like 7.2 assists to like 2.1 turnovers a game. He had some silly turnovers in the first half today, but the next game, he'll score 35, and he'll hit 5 threes. He is blossoming into one of the best point guards this state has seen. I know it's a bold statement, but one of the best point guards this state has seen in a long time. He reminds me of Travis Ford, just the way he plays the game. He's got instincts with the ball. He's got instincts defensively. He's got instincts away from the ball. He's got leadership, and if you're going to be that guy that size, you better be able to hit threes too. He can shoot it. He's about almost a 40% 3-point shooter, which is rare for a sophomore. And he's got toughness, guys. He's got a banged up hip, and he never stops. He's just a tough kid. And I am so excited to see what he develops into. I personally think he could be a Power 5 player.
For Ethan, just to talk about same thing with Porter, your teammate scored the final 11 of the second quarter. When he gets to rim like that, how much does it open it up for everybody else?
It opens up everything, really. He's a great passer, but he can also get to the rim and finish. So when he's getting downhill and scoring, it's hard to help off, because if we help off, then he's going to hit our shooters, and if they don't help off, he's going to score. So it's really hard to guard him and any part of the game, really.
Larry Vaught, another question for Coach. What makes your team so good defensively, and can that defense carry you to a title?
I'll answer the second one first. I hope so. What makes it so good? I don't know if these guys will appreciate it until they're done playing here. But some of the stuff we do defensively, guys, you don't see a lot in high school. I mean, we don't help from the wings. We don't help from the corners. We exaggerate help. We give a lot of ball pressure. We take a lot of risk in getting out all our shoulders in the passing lane, and we try to be disruptive. Now, there's times, obviously, you're playing certain teams where you got to make adjustments and you've got to do different things. But I think these guys see the grind of like as many times as we play Rowan County and Boyd County and everybody in our district and region, they sort of get a rhythm against it. And it's sometimes these kids like, is this really working? But then if you just the consistent effort of the pressure, what we call 50 red, when you come to a stage like this, it's not common to play against, and it's giving some people problems. The defense got its origin from Max Good, longtime coach at Maine Central Institute and Eastern Kentucky University, one of my mentors. And, we ran at Georgetown College with Happy Osborne, and it's just something it's my personality. It's an aggressive defense. I'm not a very good zone coach. And so, when they buy into it, it can create a lot of offense for us.
For Zander, it looks like y'all are playing at a higher level than you were at region. What's changed?
I just think we're playing more together right now, and we're just become more as a family. So that's what's helping us out on the court right now.
Mike Marcy asked, do you feel your team matched or exceeded Boyle physically? And how did you approach defending a team that likes to play so physical?
Speed. You got to beat them up and down the floor. You got to be better for 84 feet and not let them be better than you in 20-foot spaces, So it was important that they get one shot and then we get a defensive rebound. I thought Sean Markham did a great job of getting above everybody and getting those rebounds, especially early in the game. We call it one and done stop. They get one shot and they're done. And then, if we get that rebound and we get to set tempo, that's our strength. So, we're not going to win an arm wrestling contest with Boyle County. We know that. But I think that we can beat them up and down the floor.
Jared Peck, Lexington Herald leader. He says, how does last year's undefeated season help this team keep this rolling without getting caught up in it or maybe looking ahead?
I thought getting caught up in last season was done and over with when we got beat by Highlands first game of this season. I think for 14 to 18-year-old kids, how do you teach them to process an undefeated season where they don't get to play in a state tournament? There's no right way to do that. They just got to figure it out, and we got to guide them through that. So I wanted to put as tough a schedule as I possibly could put in front of them this year, because I knew we were going to have to go through that process of creating our own identity this year, not tagging on to last year's identity. So the very first game of the season, we at Highlands on a weeknight. It's a 2.5-hour, almost 3-hour trip for us. And we started that game out 18-4. And these guys don't know this, but I'm over on the sideline and I'm saying, we needed this. This is exactly how this season needed to start, because we're quickly realizing, okay, this is a new team. We got to get connected. And so it all began with that moment, losing at Highlands. And we had some other defeats, at Bowling Green, and we had a weekend we were at Cove Cath and at Simon Kenton, and we were awful. Just awful. The next weekend we beat North Laurel and we beat Dunbar here in Lexington. So the schedule we've played this year has calloused us and has taught us a lot of lessons. And I think we're playing that way, showing that schedule is one of the reasons why we're peaking at the right time.
All right, guys, looks like we are all caught up on the chat. So we're going to let you step away. It's that time.
All right, thank you.
Where rest is important. So thank you. We're going to be joined right away now by state quarterfinalist Boyle County. They were the champions out of the 12th region. Their head coach, Dennie Webb, is joining us, along with Luke Sheperson, number 1, and number 23, Jagger Gillis. Coach, walk us through tonight. Obviously, not the result you wanted, but just talk about the experience and what you can take away from this.
Well, that was not the experience I wanted for tonight. Obviously, we just got beat by a team that just played lights out tonight. I mean, they shot it well, they played defense well. So hats off to Ashland. They just kind of wore us out tonight. To be honest, they did to us what we've been doing to people, or what we've tried to do to people all year. And I don't think it was a lack of effort on our guys' part. It's just one of those games where nothing we did went right. And a lot of that is attributed to Ashland. Ashland just played great. They played hard. They shot it well. I don't know what they shot for the end of the game, but they lit us up. So, that one hurts. But, I told the guys there's nothing to be ashamed of in what we've done here. A lot to be proud of, and it's a good ball team right there that played great tonight. Hats off to them. They played fantastic.
Talk about the guys sitting to your right and left, how much they mean to your program, and just exactly that. What do you take away from this as well?
They mean a lot. Obviously, I love these two guys. These two guys are great. They're great kids, great young men, not kids. I'm going to call them young men. They come to work every day, work hard. I just wish we'd had Jagger a little longer. Ships battled all year long, both of them, and been leaders. And I hate to lose them. I wish they could. If they didn't age out, I'd try to get them to come back another year. But love these guys, and they're great kids, great young men, and they're going to be great men. They got a lot laid out in front of them, what they're going to do in life, and they're just good people. And hate to lose good people, but they mean a lot to us and our program, and have set a great example for how you compete, play together, and play hard, and just lead.
Luke, what did Ashland's speed do to disrupt your offense?
I mean, first of all, we just didn't come out ready to play. But I mean, their speed. They were a good team. Their defense, they were flying everywhere, and they pushed the ball. They're a good team.
Larry Vaught asks for Coach, what impresses you most about Porter and what he does for them?
Well, he's crafty with the ball. Does a nice job getting to the rim and finishing. He finished really well tonight. Made a couple of deep threes on us, I think. So he's all around, has a nice game. Was a disruptor on the defensive end too. So he played well on all levels. I thought he had a fantastic game, and he was hard to deal with.
Jagger, what would you say is the one thing that made it so difficult tonight?
Well, one thing is, like Shep said, we just didn't come out, and we ran into a heck of a team. Hats off to Ashland. They did it both on both ends of the ball, offense and defense. And I'd like to see a team stop them one day. They're a pretty heck of a team. The hard part, leaving this team, we're all family, we're brothers out here, and that's probably the hardest part. You always remember that final buzzer that goes off.
Coach, anything to just add to that to kind of wrap up your experience here? The final buzzer sounds. What's going through your mind?
Well, the outcome of tonight hurts, obviously. It's disappointing and to a certain degree a little embarrassing, but, we're going to get over that, because there's nothing to be ashamed of what these guys did. I mean, the Ashland staff and the players, they're lights out. I mean, that's a nice team. Or an outstanding team. So we've got nothing to be ashamed of. And, we'll get over that, and we'll step back and we'll look at what we've done this year. 22-5, we regional champs, win a game here the other night, and then got a great experience. So there's nothing for us to be ashamed of, other than the fact that when we get over this one, we'll see that, and a lot of pride in what we've done. I think we represented our school and our region really well. These kids do it with class, and they have all year long. And that's probably the one thing that I'm most proud of, is not only were we a pretty good basketball team, but the guys carried themselves with dignity and rebel, just kind of the rebel way. We expect to win, we expect high achievement, but then we also do it with class. So these guys, and both of these two men sitting here with me, are prime examples of that. I know they've had I told them in their locker room, they've had a heck of a senior season. They've play on the football field what they did, and then big part of the football team, and then tonight, and then our season. So the big, there's nothing. Heck, that's a dream year in my opinion. I don't know if too many seniors can say that they have done what they've done. So hats off to them, and they'll step back, and we'll look at this, and we'll have a lot of pride in this. I think we represented Boyle County pretty well.
All right, Coach, we'll let you all step away. We can't thank you enough for coming up here and talking.
Thank you.
with us.
Thanks. We might get track, but Coach Jagger, I don't know what he runs. They don't have to turn. They don't have to